All right, we are here at Magic 97 today on Profiles, and we're going to take a look at the afternoon, guys. So take a good look around, and we'll be talking to Mike Mitchell, Frank Lowe at AVR, and we'll find out what goes on here at AVR Magic 97 in the afternoon. So have a good day, and let's get the beat rolling, shall we?
Welcome to Profile. I'm Jerry Neville.
Give. Welcome to Magic 97 in the afternoon morning crew guy.
I'm not Jerry Neville.
You are not.
No, okay.
You're Mike Mitchell. It's Mike Mitchell, afternoon guy here at Magic 97, and we're on the air right now, like actually live.
We are absolutely live.
So like almost anything can happen.
Absolutely anything and everything could possibly happen. Yeah.
Okay. So can I mix a tune?
Well, no.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. The big final word. Mike, how'd you get involved in radio, Mike?
Went to school. Went to a broadcasting school in Bangor about 10 years ago. Spent a year there and ended up here. I've been here ever since. Always wanted to do it. Like going through high school and junior high and whatnot. I just knew it was something that I wanted to do. Graduated high school and went through the proper channels, and here I am.
So, well, you grew up in Liverpool. Did you ever do anything with CKBW?
I did an internship there, actually. The Christmas that I spent going to school in Bangor, I did my internship, my work experience at CKBW, yeah.
So have you ever wanted to do anything else besides just, like, have you ever said, gee, maybe I should be a car mechanic someday?
Not at this point in time, but ask me that question again tomorrow. The answer may change.
Now, Mike, you're not just afternoon guy. You're on from what, 1 till 6?
From 1 till 6, yeah.
Okay, and you just don't spin the tunes and talk. What else do you do besides that?
I do all the station contests and promotions and prize giveaways and whatnot that we do. That's my other chief function throughout the day.
So, like, what contests have you lined up?
We have one that starts today, actually, called Theater Trivia, where we're giving away 2 season tickets to the Atlantic Theater Festival. We started one yesterday called Sneaker Trivia with an athlete store down in the Gardens Mall that's opening this weekend that we're running for a couple of weeks. And we've got 2 different Mother's Day contests that are on the air now, and our regular ones that have been there forever.
Forever. Hey, all right, Mike, maybe you can tell us a bit about the board, because everyone says, you know, because on the air it sounds slick. Yep. It sounds slick, man. Like you don't think about pushing buttons and everything else. Maybe you can. I'll stand over here and you can describe what we have here.
This is my main microphone that I use for this one. This one here. We have 2 guest microphones in the back of the board, and those volume controls are right there. This level is for the commercials that we play on these decks on the left. We use this one to control that. Music carts are on these 2 lines, and they also double up as line mixes if we have people on the phone or bring up a satellite feed. Or you want to mix this on? Sure. This one? Yeah. Go.
Oh, I'm a radio announcer.
Oh, that was beautiful.
I've never done this before.
That was beautiful. So this one double ups for music carts. If you want to play any songs that are on tape over on these decks, this doubles up too for the phone lines, the line mixes down these strips, and tape machines in the back of the studio, and CD players over here.
And what about the volume control? Why don't you blast some volume out here for us? It gets pretty loud in here, doesn't it?
It can at times, yeah.
So have you ever been sitting here in the afternoon and just, for no reason whatsoever, just blast the tunes?
Oh yes, that would have been yesterday. The last time that happened, yes.
See, we're actually doing this. Mike is actually on the air. So, actually, maybe you can tell us what some of the stuff is around here, like some of the stuff up on the whiteboard here.
Sure. This is our music log. All the songs that we play. Some people are under the impression that we just sort of walk in here with a stack of CDs and records and whatnot. We don't. They're already in the studio, and we just follow these logs each hour, laid out. All the songs and the index numbers where we can find them.
And really how long they are? And
how long the songs are, how they start, the artist and the song title, what cut they are on the CD.
Pretty much idiot-proof.
It is. And a commercial log. All the commercials that we play are on this separate piece of paper. Follow the numbers. Just play what's on the numbers in the back of the rack. Go to pick number 41, 88, so on down the line. Okay. Our weather forecast that we read.
Give us a weather forecast, man.
It is cloudy today.
Cloudy today.
Cloudy today. That's as good as it gets for today. Cloudy. And it might not snow. That's as good as it gets for today.
Wouldn't that be nice? Now, what you call it? We have it's almost like CD players I'd see at my house.
They are. That's exactly what they're like. We've experimented with the broadcast units, and they haven't proven to be very successful for us. They burn out just as quick as the home units, so needless to say, these ones are a lot cheaper to use. So we use them till they burn out, and toss them and replace them.
Disposables.
Exactly.
Now the microphone. I don't want to get into too much technical stuff here, but the microphone.
I appreciate that.
The microphone here. It's not on like a normal mic mount. It's on a. It looks like an air mount.
It's sort of stuck in the ozone, so it doesn't make any noise. If we happen to bump something, if I happen to bump something that's around here, and if this was connected all to that, the mic would shake and it would make a noise on the air. So it's just mounted sort of in the air that I can. If I happen to bump something, it doesn't affect the microphone, the on-air sound.
Now, what is the biggest, most colossal screw-up that has ever happened to you while you're on the air?
Ever? Of all time?
Of all time.
Boy. Oh, boy. I mean, there's things that happen quite a bit where we would go to play a commercial or a song on a tape, and it's not queued up, and there's nothing there, and you just sort of have to scramble around and grab something to fill in. But I've been lucky, I guess. I haven't had any absolute colossal nightmares to speak of at this point in time, anyway. But I'm still on the air another 4.5 hours, so things could certainly change in that period of time.
All right. We also have the beautiful weather center over here.
The Capricorn 2 digital weather console that proudly displays our temperature in both Celsius and in Fahrenheit. If it was windy today, it would reveal the wind chill. You know, we say it's 6 degrees, but it's minus 55 with the wind chill. Flick that button over and it will give you the wind chill. Like it's actually -4, and that will adjust with the wind speed. The actual temperature is 6 degrees. Barometric pressure, rising and falling, or steady, and then there's the wind speed.
It's colossal. This is just simply incredible. Okay, now let's do a quick little studio tour here. You kind of see we're kind of rolled over. Oh, it's okay, man. As long as you don't give it to me, I don't care.
We'll try not to.
Okay, so all right. So what do we have here?
All our CDs. They start at number 3300. Don't ask me why. And at this point in time, they end at 43.99. And where we get the numbers off that music log, that's where we go and pick number 3583, CD 3608, or whatever it is, and that's where we take them and play them and put them back.
Okay, and what about over here? These all look like old 8-tracks, man.
You're pretty accurate with that. It's a one-track unit, a cart we call it, and each one of these carts has one song on it, and we take these from time to time. Some stuff that we maybe had on vinyl at one point in time that we were not able to get on CD, we transfer it to tape so we don't lose any generation. As you know, if you have vinyl and you put a scratch on it, it's ruined. We put the stuff from vinyl to these carts and it saves it.
So, like people think 8-tracks, chintzy, 70-ish. Like everybody's using it.
Everybody uses this stuff too. Yeah, exactly. If you can't get the stuff on vinyl, the only way to preserve your vinyl is to put it on tape. It's the only way to save it, because if it ever becomes damaged, you're out of it. You know, if you can't replace it on vinyl, and you can't replace it on CD. So we put it on these tapes to save it. And the same as our commercials are done that same way too. Commercials are put on the same kind of. They're shorter. These ones are like anywhere from 3.5 to 7 minutes in length. These ones are 40 seconds, 70 seconds, 100 seconds shorter, but the same kind of device. Yeah, sometimes when they're wound properly, they are. Exactly.
Okay. Now you have a feature here called the Mind Bender that you do.
Yep.
Maybe you can explain a little bit about the Mind Bender to us.
It's just a little like a generic music trivia thing. We do different things from time to time, but the one that we're running right now, it's a 5-song music scramble, and we just try to get listeners to identify the 5 songs and the 5 artists in that music scramble, and if they can do it, we make them a winner.
Can you play that for us?
We can play it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is cool. This is the music scramble here that if you win it, you can this time win all kinds of stuff from a local place of business. Here we go. Here it is. There you go.
You get those 5 songs and we'll make you win.
Okay. Yeah, and I should. We really.
There's 5 in there too.
There is 5.
Yeah.
I got.
Question whether or not there actually is only 2, but there actually.
I get. Okay. Well, I got. I think I got a couple there, Mike. So I'm not really sure about what's going on now. Okay. So you're getting ready right now for a commercial break.
Yeah. In in 1 minute and 20 seconds.
1 minute and 20 seconds. Yeah. So we should stick around and see that.
Definitely stick around, yes.
So we can see what's going on here. Now, what you're doing is called queuing up, in case people don't know. So maybe you can tell us what goes on with that.
Setting up the next song I'll be playing according to right on the music log to the cut that I'm going to be playing, cut 2, and just make sure it's all set to go. That when I push the start button, boom, it's going to be there.
And it's happened before that the wrong song has.
It has happened many times. Now, you want to stick around for a while, it may happen in the next little while. That's exactly correct.
Okay, so here we go. We got 50 seconds left here. Now, when you turn your microphone on, the music in here dies.
Speakers die, yeah, exactly.
And why is that?
Just so, due to the fact that we'll have feedback in our microphone, that all we can have coming through the microphone is what we are putting through there. If we have the music in my headphones and coming through the speakers, feeding through into the microphone, it'll feed back on the air, so it has to mute it out. And plus, it's a warning sign for anybody that's in the studio.
Oh, it's true. If you're kind of here rocking.
That's all of a sudden, time to be quiet. Yeah.
All right. So this is what? Grapes of Wrath. We're coming out of the Grapes of Wrath, going into commercial break. Are you going to say anything interesting?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, let's hold my breath, waiting for something interesting.
All right, here we go. Mike Mitchell on Magic 97, actually working.
97.7 FM, Magic 97. That is the Grapes of Wrath, taken from a very hot CD called Treehouse. Very hot CD. Tom Cochran, by the way, produced this CD, and the tune is called Backward Town. Sophie B. Hawkins, April Wine, and something brand new from Stevie Wonder, kicking off 4 in a row. It is 20 minutes away from 2 o'clock. My name is Mike Mitchell. And Mike and the Mechanics, they will entertain us in the next couple of minutes. And we had mentioned this earlier in the afternoon, that if by some fluke or some miracle you heard some bumps and thuds and bangs and crashes over the air, not to panic, because we have Brian and Jerry. They would be joining us this afternoon from Windsor Cable. They're putting together, I guess we could call it a TV radio documentary. Extravaganza. TV radio extravaganza to be broadcast at a future date after management clears all the logistics and whatnot about our radio station. So that is actually happening right now. As we speak right now, we are being taped with another microphone, this one right here, and Brian has the video camera actually taping what is going on here. So if you do in fact hear some bumps, I guess we could call it, or grinds or noises or whatever, in the next little while, ye need not panic. These guys are professionals, and they do know what they're doing. Speaking of being a professional, we're going to try something new today at about 20 to 5, 4:40, theater trivia. Okay, we'll ask a question dealing with the Atlantic Theater Festival. That is coming up today, by the way, if I didn't mention that. Answer the question, you will qualify for the grand prize draw coming up on Friday afternoon for a subscription for 2 to the Atlantic Theater Festival, okay? We're going to do that today. The big debut of theater trivia coming up at 4:40.
Sherry from Kentville Cards and Gifts.
Well, that was it. That is it. Mike's playing commercials, and right now we're gonna leave. We're gonna head over and see Frank.
See Frank? Okay.
Over and see Frank Lowe. Give us a call over there and see how things are going. All right?
I will do that.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Kentville Cards and Gifts, the Valley's only Hallmark Gold Crown store.
Week Wednesday, a few afternoon sunny breaks and a high of 15. Some late day sunshine on Thursday and a high of 16. It is 17 away from 2 o'clock. 6 degrees. Weather details anytime. Call the Magic 97 Econo Auto Parts Plus weather line. The phone number to call is 678-2330. For that Prairie Oyster, it's coming up to 18 after 2, and we'll check in with our community reach for just a moment. Introduction to The Tempest, and that's happening in Wolfville at the Memorial Library on Wednesday evening at 7:30. And while we're on the go, a bean, scallop, and ham supper is on for you at Billtown Baptist Church between 4:30 and 7. And if you'd like to get more information on that one, 678-7667 is the number to call. One more item to pass along, this one for Thursday. Chrysalis House, the annual general meeting at the Kentville Recreation Center, and that gets underway at 7 p.m. on Thursday evening. Weather in just a moment.
It takes you back in time with metro classics from the 60s, the 70s, and early 80s. Classics.
Well, we'll just come in here and see a Mr. Frank Lowe, the AVR drive time kind of guy, as we continue our little trek around here at the AVR Magic 97 studios. How you doing today, Frank?
Doing great, Jerry. How you doing?
We're doing okay. We're on the big tour of the radio station here. So Mike just gave us the complete rundown of the board and everything in the studio. So maybe we can do a bit of that here in the AVR studio.
Yeah, well, the board, as you probably notice, is kind of different over on this side. The board is a little older than our neighbor next door. We're back with the rotary knobs, and but it's a functioning board, works well, and that's the main thing.
I noticed when I worked here, like, because I worked on both sides, I liked this board better, even though it was older, because it was faster.
It is a fast board. Actually, it's a Gates board. The first board I worked on in my life was 1972. That was a Gates board in New Glasgow at CKEC. So I'm back here again. I don't know what happened in the 25 years in the middle. I'm not sure, but anyway.
Well, you might recognize Frank's voice. If you haven't seen Frank or heard him on the radio, you probably heard him on several TV ads across the, or even radio ads outside of AVR. You do a lot of freelance work.
Yeah, I've been at it long enough. You make a few connections and get to know some people, and they know your work, and so they call you on a regular basis to come in and do some freelance work, and that's always nice.
So, but the commercials you voice here, because we were talking about this earlier with Mike too, the commercials you voice here, it's all part of your job.
Oh, sure, yeah, being a radio announcer, a disc jockey, whatever, that, you know, there's more than just spinning records. There's the production, and then taking care of the music, directing, and doing that, and the commercials, of course.
Okay, so you are the music director here for AVR?
That's right, yeah.
So you get to hand pick all the music for everybody, or is it all done by the computer, or how's that work?
Yeah, you select the universe that goes into the computer, then the computer from that universe will do all of your selections, and to a pretty good extent will keep things separated in space, but you still have to make the fine-tuning adjustments.
Now, AVR is all country music.
24 hours a day.
Okay, how far do you guys go back? Because I know, like, because there's guys like me that enjoy stuff like Southern Pacific that aren't really into Mel Tillis. So how far back do you go back?
Well, we do some country classics, and we have some segments of the week that we set aside for that, like Sunday morning and that. But if you want a rule of thumb, I think the country music business right now has what they call BT. We don't go much before BT, which before Travis. Randy Travis is kind of the cutoff, which is about 1986 and up.
And it's all hot sounding country music.
It is, and that's why 86, most people look at Randy Travis as when things really changed in the business, and they did. When Randy hit all of a sudden, he exploded the whole industry, and we've been exploding ever since, and Randy's part of the reason we're here in such a big way now.
Yeah, because Randy's more of a traditional kind of country guy, where you get someone like Little Texas and God Bless Texas, like two totally different sounds, but they sound good mixed together on a contemporary country radio station.
Well, they do. In Little Texas, in fact, most of the people nowadays that are stars owe everything really to Randy, because he's the guy that exploded and made everybody say, gee, I don't know if I like country, but I like Randy Travis, and that's the step-off point. At that point, you can listen to Randy for a while and say, well, gee, I kind of like the other stuff too, and then you're involved with country music. And once we got you, I always felt once you have somebody saying, I like country music and that, then we'll get them, and they'll be a listener.
Yeah, because it's not like in the 70s when country wasn't cool. I mean, everything now, I mean, everybody, I shouldn't say everybody because I shouldn't generalize, but almost everybody likes at least one country tune.
Well, for the most part, when you look at bands, it's funny, some people will come on and say, well, I don't like country. But then if you say to them, well, what do you think of Alabama? Well, I like Alabama. What do you think of the Eagles? Well, I like the Eagles. What do you think of Restless Heart? I like them. So, well, you like country then, You don't think you do, but really you do.
Yeah. Okay, AVR is set up on a really unique system. It really blew my mind when I first started working here. You can play 4 commercials at one time here.
Yeah, our split, actually, that's the first time I ever had the opportunity to work, which is this unit here. And with Windsor and Kentville, Middleton, and Digby, we have the 4 different transmitters, and actually, yeah, we can, for a local business in Digby, who he's only interested, of course, in advertising in his area, so we can actually just feed to our Digby transmitter, and that's what the people in Digby hear. And they really don't care to hear a spot perhaps in Windsor, and so they don't have to. They'll hear the Digby spot.
It works out more economically for them, too.
Great for them and good for us, too. Yeah, it's good for everybody.
Because we all know that radio is, the bottom line is, you got to make some money somehow, and that's what the commercials are for.
Well, like every business, certainly the bottom line here is radio airtime and commercial airtime, and for our part, making sure that we have a lot of listeners so that when we do play a commercial, that we can guarantee the client that, hey, we have a lot of people that listen to us regularly, and they like us, and we hope they'll like your product, too.
Okay, now, right now, we're playing just in Kentville and in Windsor right now, right?
That's right. We're on what's called a two-way split now, and my buddy Len Hawley is actually doing the split on the other side of the valley.
So Len's playing from Middleton right down to Weymouth, I guess.
That's exactly true, and that's our regular shift in how we do it. excuse me for a second.
Oh, go right ahead. No, it's okay. You got a job to do here, so.
Okay, no problem.
Anyway, so you have the same deal Mike has next door. You have the music log and everything else, but you have several more cart decks because of the split.
Yeah, the commercial load on AM is just, it's a whole different thing. We just play more commercials and we play them more often, and so that's why the majority of decks, because we do put out a fair amount of commercials. So.
Okay, now what kind of contest can we expect in the afternoon show with Frank Lowe giving away the big products here?
Well, we do the trivias and, you know, have fun with people, and people still like trivia, and I'm always amazed. It never fails to amaze me. I can get the most obscure question. I'll look them up sometimes and figure, you know, like, this is not going to go. And somebody out there knows the answer. It's really amazing. But I like talking to the people, and that's one of the reasons for having the contest, is you get a chance to actually get on the phone and talk with people and get them on the air, and that's always fun.
Okay, now you didn't start here at AVR. You said you started in New Glasgow at CKEC.
That's right.
How did you get involved with that?
Actually, really the whole reason that I got involved in radio goes back to one of my classes I always did well with in school was English. And I was just I was more of a natural at reading. Reading was always an ability I had, and I used to take part in speech contests when I was little, and from there I used to go to CKEC when I was a kid and go on the air when I was 8 and 9 and do little things. And then got out of school and figured I'd give radio a try. Went into my hometown station and asked for a job, and because I took typing in school, they were looking for somebody to do some typing of news stories. And that's actually how I got in the business, because I could type. So, get typing.
If you want to be a radio announcer, sure.
Strangely enough.
Okay, but so you didn't go to school like everybody else, I think, in here in this radio station went to broadcasting school.
Yeah, that's the new people.
Yeah.
The older guys just went in years ago, and you just hung around and got your nose around, and I don't think there was quite the competition back then. And if you just had a willingness and had sort of the natural ability, you would get your chance, and that was it.
Well, you went from CKEC. Did you go right to Country 101 after that?
No, CKEC, and 3 years there. I did a year in Bridgewater, and then went to Country 101 at that point.
Now, that must have been an experience. You're the only country station in the Halifax market. That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, and we did well. Every year that I was at Country 101, I mean, I think the other stations in town, this is back, like, again, you're looking at the late 70s, early 80s, when a lot of people didn't take country very seriously. And we used to take a lot of flack from a lot of the other radio people. You're playing country music and that. But we consistently just won the books. And you finally got recognition just by sheer fact that, you know, hey, we did it 10 years in a row. Something must be going on here.
So why come from the big town to the small town? Was that a hard decision for you to make?
No, I had a little time off in between, as a matter of fact. I got out of the business for a while. I got into Sun FM in Bedford, and because they were into digital radio, and I wanted to give a hand at that. And after 2 years there, I tried my own business for a while, just doing production. I have a studio in my house, and I do some stuff there. But then with the studio, and I wanted to get back into the business, and I always have liked country music. I've been involved so long. I have a band, we play country music, and I could only really see myself getting back in to the country side of things, and the opportunity came up here in the Valley, and I jumped down here.
What's the name of the band?
Triple Time.
Triple Time. Do you sing?
Yeah, I do a fair amount of the singing, and Ruth Best, who is from the Valley area, she's our lead singer, and my wife plays keyboards in the band. So
why don't you give us a little tune here, man? Give us a little tune.
I have no music, and I'm not an a cappella singer, that's for sure. I gotta have music, unlike those people that can just wing it. Just a second here, guys, and I'm gonna get Terry on with the news here. He's doing a countdown right now in the Valley, so he's letting Len know that we have 15 seconds. So what I'll be doing here is I'll just be fading up his microphone now. And Terry actually will have the jingle. 5. And there goes the jingle down to Len. The news is now on in the whole network. And what I'll do is I'll bring it back so we're on full network. So when it's commercial time, I'll be able to play a commercial on the full network.
So basically, while the news is on, Len can go have a snooze.
In fact, I'm sure that's what Len does a lot. I've tried to get him on the two-way between sometimes, and he's never there. So I'm sure Len's gone right now. Len, if you're watching, just kidding.
Now, the board is older, and it is faster and stuff, but it's the same deal. Like, you do have some of the new things. Like, we do have the new CD players in here, and it's all compatible.
Oh, the CD players are wonderful, and, you know, the old days are great, but I remember the days with record skipping and people who aren't careful do absolutely vicious things to 45s and albums, and these tend to be a little more indestructible. At the last station I was working at, actually, they're into jukeboxes, and you actually don't even touch the CDs. There'll be a jukebox in the back of the studio with, say, 150 CDs, and what you would do is call them up from a keyboard. And much like the jukeboxes, like the Wurlitzers, once you call up your CD, it goes down, grabs it, brings it back, plays it, and actually the on-air people never get their fingers on. These are fairly good. I mean, they'll take a fair amount of abuse, but still, you know, you shouldn't let too many announcers fool with CDs. It's just not a good idea.
Now, you got it's 3:02 here now, and we're into the news. How long would the news go?
He'll be going to about 3:04, and at which time he will give me a cue so I can hit my next commercial. And he'll come back with the weather. After the weather, at his final sign-off here, I'll pause just a moment before I hit my first tune, giving Len a chance to jump away in Middleton. And then the split is on again.
And it just happens all over again.
That's right. We're back into the same hour. I'm split on this side, and Len is taking care down that way.
And you're only split away from 2 until 6, though.
That's right, 2 until 6. Now, I know over the years they've done different splits here. In fact, when I came, I think we were splitting mid-morning was splitting, and we were going. But it's totally whatever you decide to do with the split function, you know, whenever and whatever you'd like to do. So.
Okay, other than playing in the band and doing this, what's Frank Lowe doing in his free time? Everybody wants to know what's going on with Frank Lowe. People would ask me, who is this Frank Lowe guy and what's he doing in his free time?
Well, I think the most fun I've had, I have a good friend, Jimmy Flynn. I don't know if you know Jimmy. And Jimmy and I, for 3 years, we had a radio show, Tales and Trails. We were on 27 stations, as a matter of fact. And I work with Jimmy a fair amount. In fact, we're working right now trying to get a radio show developed, and with my band we do a number of shows with Jimmy too. In fact, we're off to New Brunswick in the next while, and so that's always fun. I enjoy working with Jimmy on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Brian, we played that when we were here, Tales and Trails. This was quite some years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago now. That's
the show. Yeah, I was Jimmy's straight man, and because you can't out comedy Jimmy, so I'm the straight man, and that continues to be the thing that we're working on right now. He's a wonderful guy, you know, and I like working with people. I like working with people that have lots of ideas and energy, because it just makes you work better. So.
Is that your phone ringing there, man?
Yeah.
Go ahead, answer. Go ahead, answer.
AVR. Yeah, the pet pound 315. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
Just go ahead. Just keep doing what you're doing.
On it.
I thought it might have been Mike calling from next door. He seems to have.
It might have been Mike. Yeah. No, it wasn't Mike.
But there's a good camaraderie around here at the radio station. People are always joking around, fooling around, but it is serious business. So, but you guys do have some fun.
It's a serious business, but radio, I think one of the things that entices you into it is, yeah, you have it's a good feeling. It's kind of you don't feel this intense pressure. It's funny to describe to people that are not involved in radio. You know, you have to do things right. You have to be there on time, and the job's got to get done. But in between all of that, there's some pretty neat people get involved in radio too. You know, they're mostly people that like to have fun, and like myself, like to talk, and the people I like to be around. So, you know.
Where do you see Frank Lowe going now? You've done quite the gamut here. Where do you see Frank Lowe going?
Oh, I don't know. If I had my wish, I'd probably love to do. Oh, I love playing in the band. That's a given. I mean, I can't ever see myself not playing in music. I really enjoy it, and I'd love to get something going with Jimmy Flynn again, because Jimmy's one of the people that I love to be around, and you never know. With Jimmy, things happen.
Well, that was a long time ago. He was part of Finnegan, and the guy that was in Finnegan with him used to do real estate at one time. When I was working at Dartmouth Cable, he was doing the ads on Dartmouth Cable.
Yes, and actually, look, Terry's looking for the time. 6 degrees, Terry. Actually, I think he's back into music now, and he has a little nightclub in Bermuda.
Oh, wow.
Peter Stoney. I believe that's what he's doing right now. So we're back to network, a little pause, and we're on to the next single. And right now, so Len has already jumped away. He's got his first tune going right now too. So now I will split. So now we're back to this side of the valley.
So now, like Len splits away from you even before you hit the split button.
That's right. He cuts our line, hits his first single. That's why when Terry finishes, I give just a momentary second and a half for Len to get his first tune going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Len is slow.
Well, he's pretty sharp. I shouldn't say too much about Len. He's a good guy.
Oh, Len and I go way back, way back. Anyway, we have to get things going here. I'll tell you what we're doing here, Frank. Give us the big radio intro. We're going to our segment here called the Pet Pound for the SPCA in Windsor. So why don't you give us a big intro for the Pet Pound?
Well, what I'd say, folks, is the next time you're driving in and around the valley, make sure you tune into AVR because we've got country 24 hours a day. We've been at it for 50 years, and we've got it right. And also, we have lots of interesting things that other people don't do. Things like the Pet Pound, and that's what we'll go do right now.
Hello, my name is Helen LaRusick. I'm the president of the Hants County branch of the Society for Prevention of Cruelty. I'm here today to talk to you about a very important consideration for your pets, and that is spaying or neutering of them. There are multiple advantages to having your animals spayed or neutered. The first one being, of course, that you are not having unwanted litters of puppies or kittens for which we are having great difficulties finding homes. Another side benefit that you may not be aware of that you should discuss with your veterinarian is the fact that having an animal spayed or neutered, if it is not being bred, will help to prevent certain types of cancer, such as ovarian cancer in females and prostate cancer in males. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time and consideration.
All right, we're going to do a little line dancing here. Me and Frank Lowe are going to do a little line dancing, so stick around. We're going to have some fun. Anyway, we're out of here. Frank's going to do some line dance. I'm going to watch. He's going to give me instruction. Anyway, till next week. See you later on Profile. Dance, Frank.